Hi, Debbie Wysocki here with Florida Luxury Homes Group, partnered with Keller Williams, East Fort Lauderdale, and today we are going to talk about what the NAR settlement, which went into effect on August 17, 2024, means for luxury and ultra luxury buyers. This is the buyer's version for $4 million and up homes. Now, it could have several potential impacts on luxury and ultra luxury residential buyers purchasing oceanfront and waterfront homes nationally also. But in this video, I'm speaking to the buyers looking in the area of Southeast Florida, and specifically in the greater Fort Lauderdale, the east side of town, and in East Palm Beach County. So here is what luxury buyers should keep in mind. Number one, commission structure and transparency. The NAR settlement focuses on increasing the transparency of real estate commissions. Traditionally, we know that the seller has covered both the buyer's agent commission and the listing agent's commission. But this settlement may lead to buyers being more directly involved in negotiating their agent's commission, okay? Now, you will indeed be asked to sign an exclusive buyer's representation agreement because your advisor or agent needs to get paid. This is very true in this demographic, and it should be in traditional as well. There's going to be clearer visibility in how much you are paying for commissions and greater flexibility in structuring your deal. Now, that is what we expect to see. However, what we're actually seeing, and it's only been a little over a month, the buyer is still paying the same price because the seller is either contributing a significant amount of the buyer's compensation or doing a combination of partial compensation and perhaps paying the buyer's closing costs. Okay, so this is already built into the price you're gonna pay. You want to have a buyer's agent that thinks outside the box and who can structure a deal which is most beneficial to you. And it has to be a win-win for both you and the seller. Okay, if it's not a win-win, it's not a good deal. Number two, what does this mean for the buyer in this particular demographic? Well, with this settlement, it is more important than ever to choose your buyer's advisor or agent wisely, particularly at these price points and with waterfront, oceanfront, and beach properties. Because as luxury buyers, you should be confident that you have a specialized member on your advisory team representing you. When choosing a luxury real estate wealth advisor, you want a great agent who's going to take the time to learn about your needs. They're probably going to take detailed notes. They may ask you to complete a questionnaire, and it may not even be related to a house. It could be more about lifestyle and the activities that you do. They're going to do extensive market research. They should hopefully have access to what we call off-market properties. That means they haven't hit the market. And what I call have an extensive real estate luxury network and vendor luxury network. Why? Because many times this is how your new home will be found before it even hits the market. Now, assuming your advisor does have this extensive network, this generally means that they have a solid reputation within the industry. Now, why did I mention all of these things? If your advisor offers these services, that means they're going to go the extra mile for you. And what does that mean? It means it's going to save your time and it will save you frustration. Simply put, the more your advisor or agent understands you, the less time you will waste in finding the home or land on which you want to build that home. They can narrow down the homes that qualify for your attention, preview them to make sure they are indeed a good fit for your lifestyle, provide a summary for you prior to actually viewing the home. And typically at these price points, we are showing a client homes over a couple of weekends, typically with the client flying in out of town. And because of the detailed research and work which goes into this demographic, a buyer, most definitely, I'm gonna say it again, should be prepared to sign that exclusive buyer's representation agreement, which outlines how the advisor or agent will be compensated and at what amount. With the increased commission transparency, some agents may adjust their service offerings or fee structures. Buyers in this demographic, 4 million and up range, should expect to negotiate. They could possibly see a willingness on their agent's behalf to accept between 2.5 and 2% commission based on the purchase price of what you are buying and the extent of your needs, right? If you're a very demanding client, their commission might be higher. And the buyer will either pay the commission directly or the difference between what the sellers do contribute. Now, the good news, generally speaking, is that we are still seeing the sellers contribute. Now, I mentioned that earlier. Also, know that the buyer's agent's commission can no longer be listed in the MLS. So when you preview a home, your advisor should include information relating to any seller contribution to the buyer's agent commission and any buyer's closing costs, okay? So the last area I want to mention here is communication to foster a great experience for you. You, our client, we want to communicate with you in the way you prefer, whether it's text, talk, or email, or a combination. Let us know which is best for you and the frequency you prefer. So the third point we're going to cover today is the potential shift in market dynamics. While sellers are no longer expected to automatically cover that buyer agent commission, it may in fact impact negotiations, as will the inventory for your exact price point and the micro location you're looking in, okay? So that means the very specific street or neighborhood. Now, if the seller's agent has not properly explained to the seller why it's important to still contribute to the buyer's agent commission, that's an educational conversation. Now, in the Tri-County area of Florida, which does include Palm Beach, Broward, and Miami counties, it's very competitive and fluid. The market, the luxury market, prices are not going down. And we have not seen a significant change in how the buyer's agents are indeed being compensated. But again, it's only been about 6 weeks. And things are still shaking out. But remember, one of the key points, transparency of commission, and you won't even get into a home to see it if you don't sign the agreement, okay? And if your agent doesn't ask you to sign an agreement, he's not the right agent. Now remember, I'm only speaking to the luxury and ultra luxury buyers here, okay? And potential buyers. Now, we may find that sellers are less willing to absorb buyer-related costs in the traditional price points, okay? And that would shift more responsibility to the actual buyer themselves. So point number 4, do you, the buyer, have increased leverage? Well, typically, I would say with more transparency, yes. But transparency in this demographic truly means how the deal is structured. Luxury buyers in certain circumstances may gain more leverage in negotiating depending on why the seller is selling and have more control over the overall transaction. But again, the agreement you have with your advisor will dictate the terms of your contribution. And in my opinion, there are several ways your advisor can show you the pros and cons of each home you're looking at and each scenario. And they can offer different ways the deal for a specific house can be structured. I found the easiest way, frankly, is a spreadsheet, plain and simple. And I guess it comes from my background as a Beverly Hills financial analyst. Numbers tell the story, right? And you can easily plug a number in and change the scenario. So this is also going to be where the outside the box thinking comes in on behalf of your advisor. And their extreme negotiation skills come into play. Very, very important. So the final point is, what is your luxury advisor or agent's value proposition? In this new environment, the role of a buyer's agent, particularly in the luxury market, may be more closely scrutinized by that buyer, by you. And in the luxury and ultra luxury demographic, buyers should ensure that their advisor is offering them added value for that large commission. And it should include detailed market insights. Again, we talked about access to off-market properties that haven't hit the market, and even a buyer's campaign. Many of my clients, we purchased homes for them by creating a campaign. Your advisor should be familiar with the additional inspections which might be needed for oceanfront or waterfront homes, or when purchasing land, okay, to build their custom home, and the timeframes that a purchaser should expect to build that home. Okay, they should be able to offer you a couple of builders who specialize in the kind of home that you want to build. And they should also be able to offer you neighborhood insights. These are the things that a great luxury buyer's agent should be doing for you. In fact, there's more than 100. And all of these things will pave the way for a smooth transaction, which saves you significant time and makes your life easier. To know what those 100 things are, click the link below, and that list will be on the way to you. And if you or someone you know is looking to purchase land to build on, or an oceanfront or waterfront home in East Palm Beach, or the greater Fort Lauderdale area, East Side, please reach out to me directly. This is my specialty and has been for over 30 years. Taking care of you, the client. You should know I only work with a maximum of 3 different buyers at any one time because I want to have the time and attention available for my personal hands-on negotiating and time spent with you. Remember, we want to create a win-win deal for you, and I look forward to speaking with you soon. Bye for now. Debbie Wysocki here.